to Studio Sri Lanka.
A pleasant evening and a very warm welcome to the national news on Rupavahini ChannelEye. I'm Dilanjali Ananda.
Good evening, I'm Clifford Richards. First of all, we take a look at the headlines.
Warning issued for fishing and naval communities over a low-level atmospheric disturbance in southeast Bay of Bengal. Spread of infectious diseases including dengue and influenza increases. Many crowds are enjoying the festivities of Vesak today as well. Imported wheat flour tax concession revoked. State Finance Minister says prices will remain unchanged. 8 killed in a shooting in Texas, 7 injured. Now for those and other stories in detail. Met Department says low-level atmospheric disturbance has developed over the southeast Bay of Bengal. This system is expected to develop into a low-pressure area gradually and then into a cyclonic storm in the next few days.
And accordingly, the Met Department has requested the fishing and naval communities to be attentive to future forecasts over the weather situation. Well, showers or thunder showers will occur at times in the western, Sabaragamu central, northwestern and northern provinces and also in the Gaul and Mathura districts. Showers will occur at several places in the eastern Nuvu provinces and also in the Polonnaru district during the evening or night. Strong winds up to 40 to 50 kilometers per hour can be expected at times over the western and southern coastal areas and also in the western slopes of the central hills. The Met Department has further indicated that the winds will be southwesterly over sea area around the country, and wind speed will be 20 to 30 kilometers per hour. Wind speeds may increase up to 45 to 55 kilometers at times in the seas areas off the coast extending from Colombo to Hambantota via Gaul and Mathura. Meanwhile, landslide warnings have been issued due to the rainy conditions in the country. Accordingly, warnings have been issued for Passara division and surrounding areas in the Badula district, Baddegama, Nagoda, Alpitia, Yakkalamulla divisions in the district of Gaul, Yatiyantu, Ramukkana, Mavanalla, Galigamu divisions and also surrounding areas in the Kegol district as well. The engineer in charge of the Dadiruwe reservoir said that the 4 sluice gates of the reservoir were opened up to 2 feet this morning. The engineer said that the water was released in a manner to avoid a flood situation. Public life has been disrupted due to heavy rainfall occurring in the western slopes of the central highlands. The wholesale traders have pointed out that the vegetable prices have been affected due to the adverse impacts on the vegetable cultivations. Many areas in the Puttalam district have been inundated due to the persisting rainfall. Puttalam district secretary said that 1,709 individuals belonging to many families have been displaced. Well, Dr. Deepal Pereira says that infectious diseases such as dengue, diarrhea and also influenza are on the rise at present.
He further said that there is an increase in infections among children. The rate of infections has increased with the prevailing rainfall. Health authorities have said that if an individual shows persisting symptoms of fever, headache and pain behind the eyes for 2 to 3 days, then such patients should be checked for dengue fever. The health authorities have been able to reduce the 10% of dengue death toll reported 3 decades ago to 1% in the last 10 years. The authorities have further indicated that this figure can be further reduced below 0.1%. Health Entomology Officers Association have said that more than 31,000 dengue patients have been recorded this year. However, during the previous year, the figure was 76,000. Many programs have been initiated in Western Province to control the spread of the dengue epidemic. Meanwhile, a rapid growth of influenza epidemic was reported in the country. Accordingly, a significant number of patients have been reported in the last few days. Symptoms of these diseases are fever, cough, cold and nausea. Also, the spread of flies has been increased due to the prevailing weather condition, which has caused an increase in the number of patients with diarrhea. The Consumer Affairs Authority conducted a raid targeting traders who sell eggs at exorbitant rates and substandard food items in Modara, Mattakulia and Maradan areas today.
The authority said that the cases will be filed against the traders who sold unhygienic and expired food items. Legal action will also taken against traders who sold eggs at higher prices. The authority officers instructed the traders to maintain cleanliness in the premises of the eateries and sell hygienic food to consumers. Traders also sold eggs at exorbitant rates, and substandard food items were taken into custody. They were released on bonds and expected to be produced before courts. Well, many Vesak zones and other very colorful decorations, including pandals and lanterns, were set up across the country to celebrate the Vesak festival this year.
Many crowds were seen visiting various parts of the country on pilgrimages to experience with the participation of 160 female bhikkhus. It was organized by Venasa Youth Organization. The 7th annual Vesak Lantern organized by Uduvana YMBA was held at the Sri Supeshalarama Viharaya. 50th annual Dansala organized by the businessmen in Ganemula area was held near the Ganemula railway station. The 11th annual traditional puppet show organized by the Malabe United Traders Association was held in Malabe town. Now today is the third day of the Buddha Rashmi National Vesak Zone taking place centering Hunapitiya Gangarama Vihara premises in Colombo.
Well, the national television is the official media sponsor to this Buddha Rashmi Vesak Zone. Various programs were featured at this Vesak Zone, including dansas, lanterns, flower processions, Vesak dramas, Bhakti recitals and displaying of pandals. People will have the opportunity to enjoy the festivities until 2 a.m. tomorrow. The Vesak Zone is jointly organized by the Gangarama Temple and the Presidential Secretariat. Well, moving on to a pandal that has been erected in front of the Presidential Secretariat in line with the Buddha Rashmi Vesak Zone. Artists and creators of the Gangarama Buddha Rashmi Vesak Zone are expected to receive certificates and of merit and also other prizes tonight. The temple tree is also holding an exhibition to depict the pride of the nation, displaying its culture and archaeological heritage. The event has been jointly organized by the Department of Archaeology, the Department of National Museums, the Central Cultural Fund and the Department of National Archives. The finals of the quiz competition organized in line with the Vesak Zone was held today. Well, not only in Sri Lanka, but celebrations beyond the shores of Sri Lanka as well. Various celebrations marking the Vesak festival can be seen in Sri Lanka as well as in other countries. Accordingly, a Vesak festival was held yesterday at the Paris Buddhist Center in France.
The festival was organized under the guidance of Chief Sangha Nayaka of France, Venerable Paravahara Chandaratna Thera. Mahasangha at various Buddhist temples in Paris, Sri Lankan nationals and other participants from Taiwan, Vietnam, China and Laos were present on this occasion. Venerable Paravahara Chandaratna Thera said that this festival was organized by the Paris Buddhist Center jointly with other temples in Paris to invoke an understanding over Buddhism among the masses. He appreciated the support extended for this effort from various nationalities. Director General of Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, Asanga Jalat, said that many Sri Lankan nationals as well as other participants from various countries joined this festival. He expressed his gratitude to the Chief Sangha Nayaka of France for organizing this event. The State Minister Ranjit Siyambalapitiya says that the custom tax concession of 3 rupees imposed on a kilogram of imported wheat flour has been revoked. However, he said that the price of wheat flour would not increase.
Speaking to media following an event in Avissaveli today, State Minister Ranjit Siyambalapitiya said that reimposing a 3 rupee tax on wheat flour, which is the main alternative for rice in the country, is expected to safeguard the 90% of the dependent paddy farmers. He further said that this move would also allow to control the wheat flour price as well.
සුපසාධන දීමනාව ඔවුන්ට ලැබෙන්නේ. අඩුම ආදායම්ලාභී කණ්ඩායම්.
Minister Pavitra Vanyarachi says a cabinet paper has been tabled to increase the compensation extended to wildlife officers who face accidents while on duty. She made these remarks during an event held to declare open 3 buildings of the Girithale National Wildlife Research and Training Centre.
This project is consisted of a new laboratory complex, a hostel and a state-of-the-art lecture hall. The project has been completed at a cost of 1,050 million rupees. The new lecture hall can accommodate up to 200 persons at once, while the new hostel has facilities to accommodate 80 persons. Now, elephant-human conflict is an unresolved issue which persists in the country for many years, affecting both elephants as well as the people.
And more on that, even yesterday, a group of villagers were severely affected after a few wild elephants stormed into their village. Well, this is a site which was captured last evening near the Arlaganvilla town, where regular wildlife officers took measures to chase a group of 25 wild elephants to the Madhuroy Reserve. Residents of the area said that the wild elephants constantly storm their villages and pose a threat not only to their cultivation activities but to their lives as well. In the meantime, various human activities are also being reported surrounding the Madhuroy National Wildlife Park. Due to such activities, wild elephants are left with few options for food and tend to storm villages in search of food. Wildlife officers have said that the wild elephant threats surrounding the Dimulagala Aranya Senasana site have also increased significantly. Invasion of wild elephants to villages in the face of human activities has become an uncontrollable national issue at present, which requires an efficient, proactive and lasting solution.
Now, 23 new buses have been awarded to 5 depots in Ratnapura district. This event was held with the participation of Minister Bandula Gunawardena. The buses, valued at 260 million rupees, were distributed at Ratnapura New Town. Many dignitaries were presented at the occasion, including political representatives in Ratnapura district. Minister Bandula Gunawardena, addressing the gathering, said that accelerated measures have been taken to digitalize operations of the Sri Lanka Transport Board and will transform all depots into profit-making entities.
Well, the Ministry of Agriculture says that only 5% of the overall farmers have utilized the fertilizer allowance provided by the government for the purchasing purpose during the previous Maha season. This was revealed during a discussion held recently with the participation of Minister Mahinda Amaravira. But the Asian Development Bank extended an 8 billion rupee facility to Sri Lanka for the purchasing of MOP fertilizer for the Maha season 2022-23. Accordingly, the funds were credited to the accounts of the farmers by the Agrarian Development Department to proceed with the purchasing of fertilizer required for the Maha season. The Ministry of Agriculture, however, said that only 5% of farmers have utilized the extended allowance to purchase MOP fertilizer. Chairman of state-owned fertilizer companies said that even though the ministry had imported 36,000 metric tons of MOP, only 5% of the imported stocks have been sold.
And we have more news from home in brief. A motor car had rear-ended a van near Venivalkola area in Kahatudua in the Southern Expressway. 5 persons have been injured from the rear-end collision. The police have said that the cause of this accident has been determined due to high speed of the motor car. 10 persons, including 3 children, were hospitalized after a lorry transporting them toppled in Valana area this morning. The accident has occurred when they were returning from Colombo after enjoying Vesak festivities. The Indian Coast Guard police have taken 10 Sri Lankans after attempting to migrate illegally to India. They were taken into custody when they reached ashore in a boat from Mannar. 6 employees attached to Polonnaruwa General Hospital has been taken into custody for illegally selling oxygen cylinders belonging to the hospital. Investigations have revealed that 80 cylinders have been sold to other parts of the country at present. Pinnacle of the pagoda built in Madanwala Raja Mahavihare in Hanguranketa was unveiled today. The event was held with the participation of Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena. The first harvest of tea reaped following the Sinhala New Year festival was offered to Sri Dalada Maligav yesterday. This offering is conducted annually to invoke blessings for the growth and prosperity of the industry in Sri Lanka. A New Year festival organized by Sri Lankan migrant workers in South Korea was held in Pagam city in Yonggisi. The festival was included with various New Year festivities. Officers attached to the Sri Lankan embassy in South Korea were also present on this occasion. That's all on local news. Stay tuned for international stories coming up next.
Prima Kutumi Pantamai.
Welcome again. On foreign news, a gunman has shot and killed 8 people shopping at a mall north of Dallas, Texas.
Well, hundreds of people were evacuated from that mall in the city of Allen, as eyewitnesses described a man firing indiscriminately at the passers-by. Well, the police said that they shot the gunman dead and believed he acted alone. Some of the victims were reported to be children. At least 7 people have been treated in hospital, 3 of whom are critically ill. Allen Fire Chief Jonathan Boyd said that 7 people, including the gunman, were pronounced dead at the scene and 2 died later in the hospital. The police officer heard gunshots, went to the gunshots area and engaged the suspect and neutralized the suspect. Allen Police Chief Brian Harvey said the victim's age ranged from 5 to 51, according to hospital spokesman. Texas governor described the shooting as an unspeakable tragedy and said the state was ready to offer any assistance to local authorities. U.S. police have asked members of the public with video captured at the scene to contact the FBI as they collect evidence. Some witnesses described the gunman as dressed all in black and wearing combat gear. Footage taken after the gunman's death appeared to show an AR-15 style rifle lying near his body.
Alberta has declared a state of emergency after wildfires spread across the western Canadian province, driving nearly 25,000 people from their homes. Faced with more than 100 wildfires, Alberta's Premier Daniel Smith called the situation unprecedented. Residents of Edson, a town of more than 8,000, were told to leave immediately. Many of fires are burning out of control, fanned by strong winds. The worst hit areas include Drayton Valley, about 140 kilometers west of the provincial capital Edmonton, and Fox Lake, some 550 kilometers north of the city, where 20 homes were consumed by fire. Firefighting helicopters and air tankers have been brought in, and federal government has offered assistance from Ottawa. Edmonton Expo Centre is accommodating more than 1,000 evacuees, and in the town of High Level, a curling rink is being turned into a temporary shelter. Alberta is a major oil-producing region, but so far oil facilities do not appear to be in immediate danger.
Reported violence in India. At least 13 people have been killed in ethnic clashes in the northeastern Indian state of Manipur. The violence began earlier this week after a rally by the indigenous communities against moves to grant tribal status to the main ethnic group in the state. Well, mobs attacked homes, vehicles, churches and also temples. Some reports put the death toll high as 54. Around 10,000 people have been reportedly been displaced. Thousands of troops have been sent into to maintain order. A curfew is in place in several districts and internet access has been suspended. Neighboring states have begun evacuating their students from Manipur, which is in India's northeast and close to the border of Myanmar.
The tribal groups fear that this would...
Now, in a heartwarming video captured by wildlife photographer, a family of brown bears depicted a delightful experience of separation and reunion. A mother bear was seen climbing a hill in the Shangjinguan National Park in northwest China's Qinghai province and exploring into bushes. Then she took the 3 cubs out of the forage. But one cub fell behind due to its slow speed. When the mother bear realized one cub was missing, she rushed back to find it. Meanwhile, the cub was making its way up the hill to catch up with its mom and 2 siblings. The family then reunited and set off again together. Brown bears under national second-class wildlife protection in China often come out to play after 3 months of hibernation.
From bare to beautiful blooms, well, tourists are flocking to the 15th century Cherry Blossom Festival in Dalan, a coastal city in the northeast China's Liaoning province. to appreciate the splendid flowers and enjoy the dazzling art performances in the 110,000 square meter garden with more than 30 species of cherry plants. A great variety of performances featuring cultural integration have been staged. A beautiful Chinese classical dance performance under the blooming trees has become one of the attractions in the scenic spot in Liangshui district. During the Labor Day holiday from April 29 to May 3rd, many visitors wearing traditional Chinese costumes were seen in the park to experience a sense of time travel. The event organizers said this year's festival highlights visitors' participation and also interaction.
Kutumi, pantomime!
And that's all the news we have for tonight. Join us tomorrow at the very same time for the very latest on Channel Eye. I'm Delanjali, together with Clifford.